We got into this challenge due to this very interesting design category, which was a new introduction to the CPDI design competition, tagged Iconic African Design category. From the very beginning, we had resolved that our solution must celebrate who we are as Africans and equally demystify existing misconceptions about Africa.
It was Martin Luther King Jr. who said that we are not makers of history, but rather we are made by history. This we found very profound. So we sort of concluded that a true African iconic statement must address three principles of self-identity and awareness. It should portray Africa and our participation in the yesterday. It should evaluate our position in the now. And finally, it should inspire the user towards a greater tomorrow.
ITAN is a Yoruba word that means story, which can be traced back to the Yoruba culture in Lagos, Nigeria. This is because Lagos is the most populous African city and has the possibility to engage more lives of Africans than anywhere else. The program is a mixed-use development located at the Central Business District of Lagos. ITAN tells the story of Africa's participative role in all of history.
We got interested in the plant called Lagenaria ciceraria, popularly known as the calabash plant in Nigeria, or the gourd as we call it. Apparently, this was one of the first cultivated plants in the world, found to have traveled from Africa to Asia during human migration. It was really fascinating for us because the plant exhibited three distinct properties which qualifies Africa at large. The first being its organic form and the nature of its curvature, which agrees with the belief that Africa is a fertile woman, an endowed mother, and a spectacle to behold. The second was the diverse possibilities of domestication, which simply describes the diversities of culture, people, and languages. And the third was the extremely valuable yet humbling materiality that portrays the multi-talented Africans around the globe, offering tremendous benefits everywhere they are found.
At the design conception, we selected three common domestications of African gourds, namely the African Zulu, the African white kettle, and the large African bushel, to extrapolate the former qualities of the ITAN. So that through a series of explorative juxtapositions of the gourd volumes, a resultant organic form is derived. By interpenetrating the gourd volume, we presented the building program and its relationship into an ensemble to achieve its organic formal composition. And of course, this became the emblematic piece that makes up the ITAN complex.
In the dynamics of the calabash volume composition, there were structural vessels spiraling through the central spine as it approaches the sky. This was a way to applaud the spirit and bravery of our Africa heroes at the face of colonialism, suppression, and slavery and all that. These were of course forceful, but it gave rise to an eventual fusion of the foreign influence and the local. That is why at the much lower levels, we made overtures that represent a totally different geometry than the former. Now, you don't get to see that from a distance because that was yesterday. You have to come closer to the structure to experience that little switch.
In the now, which is the present situation of Africa, we reveal through the eyes of its unity facade the possibilities and value of unity in our diversities as Africans. The design is a simple solution involving an interlace of different African symbols against an African map, so that whichever side you choose to experience the building, either from within or without, you would locate one or more of your native symbols or icons against another country's map. Or in contrary, you could identify your country map outlined by an array of foreign symbols. By these, we intend to stall the waves of xenophobia and racism among us as a people.
Now the third dimension of the storytelling is in the tomorrow. What does the future hold? The building facade system reinterprets one of the past symbolic materials of pre-colonial African kingdoms, the Benin Bronze Arc of the Benin Kingdom in southwest Nigeria. We embellished the entire Unity facade with bronze panels meant to be fabricated and engineered to improve its technology. This, we hope, will take a leap towards the kind of sustainable development that we foresee.
We believe that the ITAN complex will pioneer a pure and compelling urban statement in definition of African iconic skylines.
And we also believe that CPDI Africa will stand out as a pivotal force for the development of great African art and architecture through these competitions.